What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Grand Tactician. So, I got the Confederate Army pretty much just done, and I'm about to take Richmond, so good stuff. And I got a nice cold one here. Hopefully, you guys doing good today. Staying motivated, hydrated. Let's launch this up. I was gonna go to this area in Norfolk called Ghent to get some really good coffee. I'm gonna start thinking, man, 35-minute drive. I wish I lived there, man. Out in Virginia Beach, if you guys ever consider moving out here, there's nothing that's non-corporate, right? Like everywhere you go, it's pretty much just chain brands, right? Little Caesars and stuff like that. Which some of you guys might like. I like it too. I get Little Caesars pretty often, but man, there's something about like those little hole-in-the-wall pizza shops. I mean, I grew up in Brooklyn, so that's pretty much we grew up around pizza shops, right? Not like Little Caesars. We're talking about, old school Italians that made sauce by hand. And I remember every time we got like pizza, right? Like if we had a game going on or whatever, right? And we were like maybe teenagers or whatever. And we got pizza delivered. I remember the freaking times I'd be like, "What did you get?" Domino's or Papa John's. I'm like, "Are you out of your effing mind?" It's like you're gonna disrespect us like that. Nah, I mean, we didn't say disrespect. I'm like, "Are you serious? You got that crap?" Because like if you get AAA pizza down the block, right? And instead you order Domino's, which is, I mean, they deliver, but it's like crap pizza. And if you ever want to compare the two, go to Brooklyn, go to Brooklyn Greenpoint. Go to Manhattan Avenue. There's a spot there called Russ Pizza. Get a pie of that and get a pie of Domino's pizza or Papa John's or what have you, right? Compare the two. I guarantee you're going to be like, where have you been all my life? This is going to take a minute. I'm going to reform. Oh, I can't because the artillery. I really need to like set up everybody with artillery in a certain spot. I'm going to rain metal down on them. Beautiful. Look at all these cannons just going off. 4 batteries, well, 5 in a second. And possibly 6. 6 batteries of artillery. Rain death and destruction on the Rabes. Come on, Sherman. Move your troops faster. Gotta get these 2 before... I mean, I got like a day or 2 to get it, but I want to get it as soon as possible so I can freaking sack Richmond. Confederates are still holding up. And now they decided to take a stand. That is fracking nuts. Okay, no problem. I'll oblige you. They're about to break, and now they're not. That's okay. Cohesion intact. Got the next game going up in about an hour. Game 3. I was a little concerned today. I was watching TikTok, and I know there's controversy about TikTok. I'll save that for another day. But I saw this video where they were talking about apparently. I didn't see it in the news. I would have thought this would have been on the front page, but apparently not. Simply Orange, uh, which is a brand under Coca-Cola, has been is in litigation. There's a lawsuit filed against them. The lawsuit is that they found hundreds of times above the federal legal limit of carcinogens inside Simply Orange, which is so nice to know. I was just like, are you and if you guys are not familiar with carcinogens or PFOAs, they're basically forever chemicals made by companies, multiple companies like 3M, back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? To coat materials like Teflon, right? To coat like the pans and stuff like that. And anyway, so obviously these are things called forever chemicals, which means once they're ingested in your body, they never leave. They can lead to cancer and stuff like that. I lost this guy. Dang it. Yeah, so they can lead to cancer and stuff like that, which is not good, obviously. And I just started thinking, I'm like, man, going through all the stuff that we eat, and like I was looking at the back of the Pepsi, the back of, like it's just all the crap that they put in our food and a drink in the U.S. Because apparently Europe doesn't have this problem, because in Europe, what they do, they outlaw chemicals and stuff that could lead to cancer. Obviously, we don't do that here, mainly because of freaking companies that petition lawmakers, hey, take this off the list because we use that, and they do because dubious stuff going on. Lawmakers getting bought off and stuff like that, and which reminds me of the stuff that's going on with stuff that's going on right now with Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. They keep finding more and more stuff on him of vacations paid for by wealthy billionaires for him, houses bought for him that his family lives in. It's just crazy stuff that you're like, and you think this is okay, especially with the guy who is buying all this stuff for the Supreme Court Justice has companies that went before the Supreme Court for litigation. It's just, and then now apparently a lot of news agencies are doing a lot of digging on the other Supreme Court justices and have found stuff like improprietary stuff, like that they've been taking money and just a lot of shady stuff. And it's just like, it makes you think, like, it's just like, geez. Whenever she's free. I'm trying to see Guardians of the Galaxy tomorrow, so I'm trying to get a babysitter. Supposedly, rumor is this is like the last Guardians of the Galaxy. Apparently, like, this is not a finale, but people are talking, like, not people, but rumors of the movie. This is not a spoiler because I don't know nothing about the movie. Excuse me. I just know that rumors are that this is like a conclusion to the story, and apparently the story was all about, well, Will? Who's the main guy? Whatever, the main guy, the human guy, right? The whole story was about him, and the first was about his mother, the second movie was about his father, and the third movie, which is this, will be about him. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. I mean, I knew that a lot of the story involved him, but I didn't know the whole arc of Guardians of the Galaxy revolved solely around him. But okay. All right, we're gonna start moving forward. doesn't have that many troops. I'm just realizing that now. He has, oh, 2,800. One of these brigades must be big. I keep forgetting there's artillery attached to these. That's why I can't just move them en masse. You don't have to run. Give them some cover, boys. I want all 2 batteries to support the attack. Start pumping it into them. Alright, I lost 2 guys. They lost 0. It's always good to know. I don't like Schneck, man. His boy's already about to break. And they barely got to the battlefield. But yeah, so I want to see Guardians of the Galaxy. And I want to do it before any spoilers come out. Should have probably saw it yesterday now that I think about it, or the day before. I was watching the new Star Trek, well, Picard, right? The Picard show. Picard show. The, what do you call it? Star Trek Picard, Season 3, right? The last episode or 2, right? And it comes out, like, Thursday at 3 a.m., right? You guys don't have to double click. You can take your time. So yeah, it comes out around that time. And so I wanted to wait till, like, I don't know, like, in the evening, right? It's like, you know, get some pizza, you know, make a thing out of it, right? And would you believe it? Somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning saw it, recorded it, posted it on TikTok, and spoiled a huge thing in it. I was just like, why the frack would you do that? Like, I don't understand why people do some stupid stuff like that. Ruin a movie for other people. Why are you getting flanked? Who are you getting flanked by? This is a detachment too, so this is not even their main force. I'm gonna start moving troops into this area because I have a feeling I might need more than Sherman's half half broken division kind of thing, you know. I gotta give Cheatham. Look at this. Cheatham's still holding. Would you believe that, man? He's still holding. Close enough. Open fire. Dude, I have a whole division, not even against a brigade, against skirmishers, and they're still holding, man. It's Hill. So that might be a problem, guys. Hill's the one that's causing the problems. I'm gonna have all these artillery start doing bombardment shells over their infantry. Make sure that really hurt them. Ah, man, you're breaking. Come on, Burnside, don't break. Don't break on me, boy. Come on, guys. A third of their skirmishes are done. I lost 22 guys here. 9 guys there. That's not too bad, but alright. Oh, they started their little shenanigans. I want the artillery right on top of them. Come on, move, start moving the artillery. Good. Oh! See how long Hill lasts. All these Union. I'm gonna start moving some more artillery into the area. I want to just like lob the missiles right at them. See, this is another thing. How is these guys in cover? What cover are they getting? From a creek. How do you get cover from a... Okay, whatever. Point blank range, just open fire. See how many troops he has left now. 65 he took. Hey, buddy. See, I cleaned the room, because you made a major mess on the floor. Yeah. Jeez. Oh, they're bringing up some fresh troops, too. Lawton's brigade's coming back into the fight. That's it, boys. Colonel John Sedgwick. Beautiful. Come on, get right on top of them, guys. Right on top. I want the guns just facing down their gullets. I'm worried that they might be... yeah, they're forming up here. Oh, crap me, man. Do you see? I thought the whole Confederate Army decided to get the heck out of Dodge. Does this turn out to minor defeat now for minor victory? Man, this is not good. Throw all your focus on them, guys. Come on, seriously. We don't have time for this crap. Down their gullets. Remember, down their gullets. Come on, Knows you can do it. I figure with all this artillery, he should be like, I don't know, broke? Focusing every single artillery shell on hill. I might just do a charge, to be honest with you guys. We don't have the time. And having one brigade hold up the entire army is a little bit kind of ridiculous. Relocate all the division commanders, support the troops. I have a feeling some brigades are going to start breaking. Good, we got the artillery out of them. Which means they left us some guns that we can use. Hills at 200 lost. I mean, this should be like Pickett's charge in Gettysburg. We just see, just like, rows just being mowed, you know? There we go, finally! Finally he decided to like, alright, I'm done. That's it. That's it for us. Now he just said, oh, you're gonna keep pushing back, dude. Now they got some cavalry, 400, that are standing in our way. Cheatham is still holding, guys. He lost a third of his men, and he's still coming. Sedgwick, I'm gonna do a charge for you. I need you to freaking take that daggone ridge. Where's the commander, man? Can't believe we're being held by cavalry. This is freaking ridiculous. Oh, I had it! Are they doing it? There we go. Come on, get your rider out there. Daggone, you take so long. Riders of the Storm. There we go. Finally, charging up that hill. Alright, so I have a 1,091 men. Let's see what the hand-to-hand's gonna look like. It's gonna be weird because, you know, you're gonna have to, like, they're on horses, you know. But while they do that, I could actually push. Jeez! Alright, that's a cavalry division. I'm gonna put the 1st Division there. Jeez, 7th Division is bad shape, man. Bad shape. 5th Division. I'm going to start positioning them here. So 1st and 5th. See, this is weird. Like, they're going through my lines. This game has been out for a while. I don't know how that... Alright, so 1st, 5th, and 3rd. The thing that worries me is that they have a line there. Good, finally. Gaines Mill is taken. Good. Reno withdraw. Okay, good. Alright, beautiful. Don't follow them. I think we're all good at this point. Oh, it's nice that it went from a minor defeat to... I don't know how the AI calculates that. But not in the best way. Alright, so I did it. We took it. And we won. So Richmond's ours. We kicked the crap out of the force guarding it. Which is good. Riders of the Storm. Alright, so they lost 2,800, I lost 2,000, which is... It's acceptable. It's acceptable. It was, Brigadier General Magruder. You know, if you take Richmond, it should just be automatically a major victory, right? I gotta get an APC for this Linux tower that I have here. That's running this. I had a brownet yesterday, and I don't know if I don't know what it did to my computer. I mean, I don't see anything going on with it, but brownouts are really not good for anything computer, you know. Laptops are kind of immune because, you know, if the power is just pulled out, you know, at least you have the battery it just relies on. There's no battery for this. All right, so let us see. Beautiful. So there's a garrison. There only 56 guys in there. It's okay. You know, you guys should be ready at Washington. I'm concerned. I don't know where the other Rep Armies are. He's still doing his thing. You could kid play. Still not doing anything there. Are you still withdrawing? Yes, you are. Give it to mommy. Give it to mommy. Alex, I really don't want to mess here. There you go. Do you guys think there should be like a mini-map here? I wonder sometimes. Jeez, these fleets are taking forever to do anything. Third fleet still blockading. Second fleet, Gulf blocking. Oh, I didn't even know about these guys. There's only 3 ships in this though. The Colorado, the Santee, and the Probe. There's a garrison here. And they got 2 freaking forts there. But I could blockade New Orleans. Let's do that. If I could blockade New Orleans, I'm gonna do that. I have a feeling that they're probably trying to move their main armies into this area. I'm trying to take it before they move. The Grand Army of the Republic is taking its time. It's like going centimeters back to Alexandria, which is a little concerning. Bath. Mommy said bath. He's like, I don't care. I'm eating some good cheddar cheese chips. Come on, dude. Get over there. Come on. I got this army here, but it's going to take a while for them to... So this is going to be an artillery unit. So I'm going to put in commandos of artillery. Let's see. It looks good. How are you assigned to... Okay, whatever. Alright, so I got Ricketts there. I'm going to move... I feel like having an artillery battery. I know some of you guys are going to be like, you should have artillery with the infantry, but I don't know. I'm going to try this out a little bit, see how it works. Having its own little thing. Come on, we need to push on Richmond. Go. Finally, they're moving. Alright, finally, these guys... Oh! Do you see what they're trying to do? I'm going for their capital. They're going for mine. The Army of the Shenandoah with 29,000 men. I have half that. To save Washington. Oh my gosh. Alright, slow down. Slow down there. Well, that's not good. And they have some kind of... There's an anchor on them, so I'm assuming they're crossing a river. They're trying to take the U.S. Capitol. Cannot allow that to happen. Oh, come on, seriously. So we're gonna what? I mean, what is this gonna do now? Are you guys just gonna siege them? I need you to assault the fort. Should have probably put some forts around Washington. That would probably have been a good idea, right? There we go. Okay. 15,000 against 28,000. Oh, this is not good. And... yeah, not good. Not good. What are the odds of me winning? Not much. I know some of you guys are going to be like, dude... Bilko says, great game, I love Civil War games. Have you stopped doing the Civil War podcast? Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately I have. And it was not mutual. We had a bit of a negative split. I'll just say that. Oh, and I'm the attacker. It's not good. How am I going to win this? I'm not going to be able to win this. Should I just do like a withdraw? let's do this. This is going to be a little bit nuts. I'll have the cavalry division on the Greg do some scouting. And then I'll have, oh gosh, this is bad. Even the artillery's not doing so well. Who should have lead the main army here? Look at these. Half the unit is just, oh, this is not good. The militia is just not doing well. Like, I got 2 divisions that are not even, and then 2 artillery. I have John Reynolds though, so that should count for something. And then who should I put behind? See, the thing is, they fought a battle already. Like, they did their thing. They're like tired, you know. They're like, we want a day off. Got Hancock here, so they're like, we want a day off. We don't want to rush into another battle with an army that's 2 times the size of ours. For me to win this, it's gonna require some very, very slick skill. Uh-oh. Yeah, don't spill it. Don't spill it. Leave it in there. All right. I'm going to have Reynolds be the lead division. All right. So the plan is to come up this way. And I might have another division or so. Maybe flank them from this side. But we'll see. I have to first find them. I'm going to use this New York State militia. I want to see if they're going to be where. I want to first see where they are. Because a lot of times the AI is not where you expect them to be. So I'm going to move this guy over there. And I'm going to have them do the double quick. Hancock, half his freaking forces. Oh, Hancock commands Ulysses S. Grant, who's a colonel. At least he got a rifled musket, right? The other army is not in such a good condition. All right, so we now know they're not going to flank us. Then again, they could be coming up from our rear. The AI in this, in a tactical sense, and these have been very unpredictable, quite a bit. Go take a shower with mom. She's waiting for you. You have to get a shower. She's waiting for you. I'm not giving you a bath or a shower. I'm recording. Okay. There's a camera. Gosh. That was my wife. Oh my gosh. Uh, all right, so I'm gonna have 4th Division come up from that flank. I got Hancock over here. Send Hancock alone. So I'll have 2 divisions coming on that side, and then the rest of the 3-4 divisions on the left-hand side. So I should have some kind of flanking stuff going on. I'll move Reynolds up to Matthews Hill, and behind him is Abercrombie. I wonder if this is the guy that started Abercrombie and Finch. I'll have Howard come up. Second Division come up. And Patterson. Oh, Patterson's the commander of the army. All right, let's see how this rolls out. Where's the objective? It's this. Okay. $20 says the Confederates are not at the objective. Because they weren't there last time. Which is concerning, because if they're not there, then where are they? I got 8th Division. What the heck is 8th Division? Oh, it's the artillery. 116 guys. I'm going to definitely start moving them up here, because the artillery move slow. You guys got a nice view, right? Head at least here. Make sure they're not coming down that road. Nothing? Nothing. Oh, a little concerning. So they're probably expecting me to take the shortest route, which is probably this way. So I wonder if they're waiting for me in somewhere around here. If they are, then I can go up here and set up defensive fortifications and make this a battle of defense. Bilko says, I was wondering about that. The other 2 guys seem a bit condescending for my taste. It's a poorer show without you anyways. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't get along with them. Behind the scenes, it just didn't work out well. They were very how do I say? I would say condescending is the perfect word. Yeah, it's there was a few things that happened that really got me didn't it rubbed me the wrong way. Like I think I mentioned this before, but in a different podcast. But if not, I'll mention it now. Uh, Basically, we started doing interviews. He wanted me to start. I was doing interviews with developers, and he wanted me to bring in that to single malt strategy, and that's why we started doing interviews within that show. So I started, coordinating with developers, and things started going sour around the time that Eric got it involved. He was supposed to be like a one-time guest, but we had, made him a reoccurring because, I mean, he fit. The problem was with the interviews. So when I when I try to coordinate with developers, I try to, when would you guys be available? And the developers would say, we're generally good here. And before I solidify that time, I would get in touch with Matt and Eric and be like, hey, is this time good for you guys? Um, and a lot of times I would get no response. Like I would email them, no response. I would, go on Patreon, not Patreon, that I forgot the name of the chat app that we use, Discord. I would go on Discord, message them, nothing. And like this would be days, right? And all this time, like the developer is waiting, which is really unprofessional. Like, I need to get word, I need to confirm with them, like, hey, and sometimes the developer would come back and be like, hey, are we good for this day? And I would have to say, not sure, I'm still waiting back for word and stuff like that, which, is not something, it makes us look bad. And it really bothered me. It really bothered me. Um, Other things that kind of didn't go well was I would always trying to like expand the podcast, bring in like advertisers. They didn't want to do anything like that. I'm like, okay. Um, Other things, and this is kind of like what I don't know if you guys probably didn't hear it on the episodes, but a lot of times like I would give my review of a game and they would cut me off. Like I would be talking and then they would cut me off, and then Matt or Eric would go on a long tangent and for like 5-10 minutes, and at that point like they were like, oh yeah, I think I cut you off. I'm like, oh, he didn't even say that. He would be like change the subject or move to something else, and it just like I couldn't give my review or my opinion. And you probably can't even hear that in the episodes because like I would edit it out, and just kind of link all their stuff together and kind of take me out here and there, because for me to speak up for like 20 seconds would be pointless. So that really upset me. The last thing, like I said, nail in the coffin was they wanted to do an interview. They were doing interviews without me. And there was one where I found out, which was the last one. I forgot the name of the developer, but apparently they were doing some interview with this developer. They did it already, uh, and then they rescheduled, and then they redid it. And then when I approached them, I'm like, "Hey, you guys didn't even tell me that you guys were doing an interview." They were like, "Oh, it was a kind of like a spur of the moment thing." And I'm like, "For the first one?" And they were like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, didn't you redo it? Why didn't you contact me before you redid it and then had it again a couple days later?" And they were like, well, we just figured you were a bit, like, so it really bothered me. I know what kind of people those people are. I met people like that in Brooklyn that have that kind of like, I'm better than you kind of thing. Um, I'll be honest, like, if I met them in Brooklyn, I would not be their friends. Like, they would be like, yeah, me and you, we don't work. Like, you go your way, I go my way. But I was trying to be a nice guy. I'm like at heart, like a nice guy. I try to be a nice guy. But he always just made things so difficult. Like, he felt like he knew everything. Matt felt like he knew everything about everything. Uh, and he was like, "This podcast is equal between all of us." But at the end, he was just like, "You know what? You're not in the podcast anymore." I'm like, "Excuse me?" It's like, "You're not in the podcast anymore." I was like, "Okay." So it's when I I don't know if you guys noticed, started developer dialogue a couple of months before because I saw it coming. He's not a person that is a nice guy, and I knew he would pull some thing like that. Like I was prepared for it, because I know people like that and I know what they would do. So a couple months before that, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna do my own podcast and stuff like that. I'm gonna go back to that." And they were like, "Okay, well, you can still do podcasts on this." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, totally." Um, but I knew it was coming, and it was difficult to like do. Like I said, it was difficult to do podcasts on single malt strategy because it was like, again, they wouldn't respond like, "Hey, I'm gonna be there. Hey, I'm not gonna be there." And it wouldn't even, like, a lot of times it would be like I would never get a call back, and I would start the like it would be days, weeks, whatever. The interview time came, and like I showed up, and the developer is like, are the other two gonna be there? I'm like, I don't know, I never heard back from them. Like, you know how unprofessional that is, especially when I email you, I like message you, I went on Twitter, I believe, too. Like, it was just ridiculous. And Matt is, he's a little paranoid too. He like, so obviously, like, I'm doing, picture in picture so you guys can see me. I'm doing that so, just to connect a little bit better with you guys. He was like, he's the type of person that would not even do like a video conference with you. Like I knew the guy for years doing single malt strategy. Like, he doesn't want anyone to see his face, right? Like, it was weird. Like, I'm like, do you think I'm gonna plaster your face everywhere? No. I'm like, it was just really weird. Like, he was, I don't know. It was just a really weird experience, and like, yeah, it's just really weird. But that's what it was, and uh, you know, I remember they always like, the other thing that they had a problem with was like, you guys probably didn't hear about it, but like, I really got tired of like the anti-Apple stuff because they knew I worked for Apple, right? They would every time would like bring up, like, I would say, "Oh, hold on, I'm having a trouble with Apple. Oh, the crappy Mac." Like, they would always just like, "Oh, you should get a Windows computer." I'm like, well, technically this does run Windows, and I do have a boot camp partition. I have other computers and stuff like that. But they would just rag and rag and rag, um, anti-Apple, and I'm like, okay, guys, I really don't care. Like, oh, they are in defense here. Oh boy, I see them. This is not good. All right, so you're gonna be right up on their line, aren't you? All right, let's get into the woods. Let's get into the woods. Let's get some cover. I want to move 6th division here. All right, so we now know where they are in a really nice tight position. It's weird that they don't like build parapets and stuff like that. But yeah. So overall, the whole single launch strategy thing, it just didn't go well. Uh, yeah, it just didn't go well. And I'm just glad I kind of left. I mean, like, it ended the way it did. Like, I was getting really. It was taking a lot of effort to work with them. A lot of effort. And literally, like, I remember so many things, like, I suggested that I'm like, hey, what if we do this? No. Hey, what if we do no? Hey, what if no? Okay. Like, and then they would come at me for like liking games. So like, there are a number of games like I love, right? They're not perfect. Like, when this game came out, obviously it was not perfect. There was a lot of bugs, but I loved it because it did so many things well. Uh, they would rag and rag and rag on things that I love, that they were like, this, yeah, that game sucks. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, difference of opinion. Like, I like this game. They're like, yeah, you would. And I'm like, like, yeah. Anyway, thankfully that's not happening anymore. Uh, yeah, thankfully. I was always gonna do like a podcast episode, or episode for here, to explain everything, and I probably should one day, because it probably needs to be said. I think I should put the artillery up here, I think. How many guns? Only 9 guns. I only got 9 guns in my entire artillery battalion. And I got 30,000 men. So this right here, 2,600. That's 5,000 roughly. Oh my gosh, 6,000. I mean, wait, 5,000, 11,000 roughly. Got artillery here. So the rest is probably right over here. So in essence, I'm not going to be able to flank. I mean, I could probably come... Is this a road? No, this is an unfinished railroad. I can come up this way and use the unfinished railroad, come up from behind them. That could be a possibility. Do I have enough soldiers? It's kind of tough, you know, when you're... Don't have the soldiers to do certain things. You don't have the numerical superiority. And by the time they cross that river over here, my guys are going to lose cohesion. Alright, so I got 1st Division here. Move them closer, I think. I have a feeling they're right over this little bloody... I see something popping up. No, that's trees, I think. Yeah, that's a graphical issue. Alright. So I got 2 divisions on this road. I got, I think, what, two divisions on this road, and I got 2 divisions here. So 2, 4, and 6. A little concerning. I mean, heck, they can attack us and do a lot more damage than I can on them. Especially with like Grant right here, his troops are not in good shape. They're like, we're about to break, just to give you a heads up. I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's nice to know. All right, so I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the cavalry. All right, I see some artillery here. Geez, they're on the high spot. Send the cavalry there. I'm gonna start pecking out their lines. This is probably a bad idea. All right, I'm gonna save it here, guys, because I'm a little concerned here. This is very concerning, and I'll tell you why. The fact is, they are in. They have more troops. They are entrenched, and their artillery is on the high ground. And I have half the troops that they have. And last but not least, they have better morale than me. Because a number of my brigades are unstable. So I might have to issue a retreat order, because if I issue a retreat order, then Washington goes south. I don't know if I want to lose Washington. I honestly thought they... And I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, you should have planned better, you know. The thing I was kind of hoping for was that army to be up by Washington, set up defenses, so when they hit me with 30,000 men and such, right, the defenses would have allotted, you know, would have doubled my strength in essence, right? Because I could have set up parapets, right, and they would have been hitting me, and I would have been taking, you know, 1 loss for every 3 of theirs or 4 of theirs or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. Dig in, yeah. I'm thinking about doing a retreat, because the number one most important thing is I don't take a loss, right? Washington won't just, you know, capture that easily. I think it has to go through like a capture process. So I can reunite the armies and then retake Washington. Think about doing that. At double the strength, I could do it. Or I can have him picked up by a fleet and then ferried around. Maybe do something like that. I have to think about it. If you guys have any